What's up, guys? Welcome to another Winning Wednesday. This is going to be a very quick Winning Wednesday because, as you can see, I am in the bed. I'm trying to get some rest today. We've been out for the better part of the day because this was both of my sons' last day of school. So we've been out for the better part of the day, and I wanted to film this Winning Wednesday, but I just have not had time between doing their last day of school stuff and taking care of baby girl. So yes, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, you can click the subscribe button today so you won't miss a video from me. I have a small testimony. A few weeks ago, I went to the mall and there was a dress in H&M that I really liked. It was a blue dress and I really liked it, and there weren't any other blue dresses in there like this. This was the only one they had. And so I picked it up, took it to the dressing room to try it on amongst other things that I had. And I noticed the tag. It wasn't like a regular tag, but somebody had written the price on it. The price wasn't there. So they wrote $39.99 on the tag. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, this is such a pretty dress and it's only $39.99. So I was like, this is not a bad price, because I was taking something else back. So I was like, I can just exchange it and it'll be like an even exchange. So I get up to the checkout line and I start checking out, and the girl says to me, the dress actually rang up for like almost $60. So I was like, hold on a second. Like, she was telling me that I owed money. So I'm like, how do I owe money when the tag says $39.99? So I'm like, I shouldn't owe anything. And she was like, oh no, this dress is $50 something. It's from our store online. So I don't know why somebody wrote that price on the tag, but that's not the price. So if you work in customer service, you know that the customer is always right. And that was their mistake. They wrote $39.99 on the tag. So whatever price I saw, she should have gave it to me for that price. I worked in customer service in retail for a while, and if we made a mistake and told somebody the wrong price or wrote it somewhere where they could see it, then we were responsible for giving it to them for that price. That was just regular customer service and regular retail procedure. So I didn't want to argue with the lady because there were other people in line. So I was like, you know, how important is this dress really? Like, do I really want to stress out about this dress and make a scene about this dress? So I was like, you know what, ma'am? Okay. I said, but you guys wrote that on there. So she was like, well, I don't know who did that, but they shouldn't have did that because that's not the price. So I can't give it to you for that price. So I was like, okay. So I said, well, never mind. I said, I don't want the dress. You can just put it back. I don't want it. So she put the dress in a closet thing, you know, that they have behind the counter. She opened it up and put the dress back there. So I was sad inside because I wanted the dress. I thought it was very pretty. Blue is my favorite color, and I wanted the dress. So I left the store feeling defeated because I was like, I should have said something. I should have, you know, fought harder. I should have stuck up for myself. I should have, you know, asked for the manager. You know, I'm thinking all this in my head. And my husband could see that I was thinking what I was thinking. But he didn't say anything to me. So when we get to the car, it's just plaguing me. And we were going to get something to eat. So I was like, honey, do you think, and he's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Because he already knew what I was thinking. He knew that I was thinking about that dress. And he said, do you want the dress, babe? Do you want the dress? And I was like, well, I did want the dress, but I didn't want to argue with the lady because, you know, other people are in line and I just didn't feel like it was worth it, whatever. And I said, you know, but yeah, I said, I do want the dress. I really did want the dress. And so he was like, well, I don't want to hear it. You should have said something when we were in the store. Do you want to go back and get it? And I was like, no. I said, let's just go to lunch like we planned to do. So we went and sat down and got ready to eat. Because I was like, babe, in the grand scheme of things in life, you know, that dress is not a make it or break it situation. So I'm not about to, you know, let myself get stressed out about the dress. So as we go in to sit down, you know, it was a regular weekday work day for him. So he got on the phone and I assumed he was doing some work. So he left the table. He said, okay, I'm taking a phone call. So he's on the phone and I'm sitting there with the two babies and I'm like, you know, still thinking about the dress. But I started to go ahead and look at the menu and, you know, play with the little kids and get myself ready to order. So it was taking him a while to come back, but that's not unusual because when he gets on the phone, he gets up and walks around and talks and whatever. So I was like, okay, you know, he's doing his thing. So I texted him and asked him what he wanted to eat, went ahead, ordered his food, you know. And in my mind, I was like, it would be weird if he came back with that dress because, you know, he knew how much I wanted it. And so I said, wouldn't it be weird if he came back around the corner with that dress? And I just sat there and was eating and, you know, whatever. Then he comes around the corner and puts a bag beside me. And in it was the blue dress and some more 15% off coupons. So he's like, there you go. I said, honey, oh my God, you went and got the dress? He was like, yeah. I said, how did you get it? He was like, I called the corporate office. I was like, what? He said, I called the corporate office and talked to the customer service lady there. And she said she was very apologetic about what happened to you at the store. And he said she then called the manager of that store and put us on three-way together with her and filled her in about what happened at the store. He said the manager of the store was very apologetic for what happened to you and told me that if I came in, you know, that she would give us a discount the next time we came in and whatever. So he said she didn't know that I was still here. So I just went back up to the store and said, hey, I just spoke to you on the phone. So at first they couldn't find the dress because it had been moved from where the girl had put it. And it wasn't even like 30 minutes later. So my husband went in the dressing room and actually found the dress. It was like on the put back rack, I guess. Somebody had put it in the dressing room and like stuck it between a whole bunch of clothes. So I honestly think that somebody else may have wanted it and they were trying to hide it for them or something. I don't know. People do that in retail. We used to do that. But he came back with the dress and discount coupons for the next time. She gave him a discount for his trouble on the dress. She said, I'm going to give it to you for the price that's on the dress because it is written on there. So I'm going to give it to you for that price and I'm going to give you a discount. So she gave him a discount and gave him more discount coupons. And so I said all that to say this, that I was looking for just a basic little blessing. I just wanted the little dress. You know, that's all I wanted. And I didn't really vocalize what I wanted because I was afraid to say it. I was afraid to say, this is mine. I want this dress. This is the price you put, yada, yada, yada. I was afraid to fight for what I felt I had a right to. And so God gave me a revelation in that, is that as his children, we have a right to peace. We have a right to joy. We have a right to healing. We have a right to freedom. We have a right to live life abundantly. And we can't be afraid to fight for what we know that we have a right to. We can't let people disrupt our peace. We can't let people and things steal our joy. We can't let the enemy take what we have, our freedom. We got to fight for things. We have to not be afraid to stand up for ourselves and the things that we want. And we can't be afraid to proclaim God's word over our lives and know that we're blessed. We're his children, and whatever we profess out of our mouths, that's what we gonna have. So I was scared to open my mouth about that situation just because I didn't want to disrupt anybody else's, day, And I normally leave the arguing to my husband because I know he don't mind doing it. And I'm a little bit more passive in most situations. We kind of balance each other out that way, because I feel like if we were both aggressive like that, it would just be too much, and somebody has to be the one to be like, okay, simmer down. And I'm usually that person in our relationship. I'm like, okay, honey, simmer down. But in this case, I was like, honey, and he went back and called the people and fought for my dress. And he was not afraid to proclaim what he felt he had a right to. And I learned a lesson from that I can't be afraid to proclaim what I feel that I have a right to. And if God said it and spoke it over my life, I've got to declare it. It has to come out of my mouth. I can't be afraid to open my mouth and declare what I feel that I have a right to. And it's not to argue with people. I'm not telling you guys to go do that. Don't argue with people and fuss and do all that stuff. But I'm saying, don't be afraid to profess what you know God told you is yours. And don't be afraid to go get your blessing. Don't be afraid to proclaim it, to say it out loud. Since then, it's like some things I'm vocal about and some things I'm not. But it encouraged me to stop being passive, especially about the things that God has declared as mine. And to not be afraid to proclaim the blessing. Of course, you have to walk in humility and take the low seat. But don't be afraid to profess what God has promised you. And so I know what God has spoken over my life. So I'm declaring to you today, whatever God has spoken over your life, whether it be prosperity, whether it be financial increase, whether it be healing in your body, whether it be reconciliation in your family, profess it out loud. Say it. Go get it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to confront issues to get it, because it's yours. It's yours. So I hope this encourages you on this Winning Wednesday. I know that it's a different flow today. I just wanted y'all to get, the full story, because that story really blessed me. And it blessed me that my husband saw and knew what I wanted and went to battle for me, which is also encouraging to me, because I know that when we're too overwhelmed and when we can't fight for ourselves, I know that I have a Savior, Jesus Christ, that goes to battle for me and fights for me and gets what I need in a moment where sometimes I can't vocalize. I know the Spirit is making intercession for me and God is fighting for me. So it encouraged me in two different ways, So I was blessed by that, and I just want to share with you guys on this Winning Wednesday, and I hope that it blessed and encouraged you. And I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Front issues to get it, because it's yours. It's yours. So I hope this encourages you on this Winning Wednesday. I know that it